Hello and welcome to the next episode of Crash Bandicoot N-Tranced. Nearly said excess there. This time we're going to be jumping into globetrotting, which I said was a long level last time, but that's only if you're trying to get all the boxes. And to be honest, I am trying to get all the boxes, but I've already done this level, and due to a recording failure, I kind of had to do it again. It's not too much of a problem, but you know. What's kind of funny is I had to start doing the audio for this like 3 other times, because first time I realized I forgot to turn down the audio of the video so it doesn't, echo. And then the second time I realized that I still hadn't done it, because like I turned it off and then I started again and I still hadn't turned it off. I just sort of like, oh damn it, I did it again. And then and then the third time I remembered to turn it down, but I didn't turn it down all the way. I turned it down to like the usual, like quietish volume that I have for the final product, so that it doesn't, clash with my commentary. But I still want it to be there. But then it would still be heard in the echo, and basically I'm just a bit of an idiot sometimes. But yeah, there's not really much to say about this globetrotting level. It introduces the atmosphere, or at least does for this game. It was originally included in the Wrath of Cortex, and I don't really remember actually many of the levels involving the atmosphere in that game, but I'm pretty sure they were slightly more entertaining than this, because oh my god, these levels are so boring. I mean, I love this game, but these levels are just so boring. I can't It would basically, if you want to get all the boxes here, you just take all the extra paths. It's not much more difficult than that. Just every time you see a split path, take the path that the arrow isn't pointing you in, like over there, for example. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Sometimes there'll be shortcuts to other parts of the level that actually skip boxes, and if that's the case, just go back along it and go the proper way. But most of the time it will just have a bunch of boxes for you to get. But anyway, that is globetrotting, and as you can see, I hardly got any of the boxes, but that was intentional because I've already done it. See, didn't increase my percentage at all. But yeah, now we're going to be starting Runaway Rug, which is the next Arabian level. And I said last time that the next Arabian level would introduce something new, and we're going to see that in a little bit. But for now, it's just more of the same. At first, go down there. Obviously, you can get an Aku. Having a bit of trouble on these. I don't know why it took me so long to get up here, but okay. So I'm not really sure where Charlie is. I was hoping to possibly maybe do this episode with him, but he just hasn't been on Skype the last few days, and it's the Christmas holidays. I'm recording it, so obviously I don't actually have school to remind him in. I'm assuming that he's just sleeping all day, because apparently he's been known to sleep for days at a time just because he loves sleeping that much. Which is quite funny, but I don't know, I hope he doesn't miss Christmas, which is well, I'm recording this on Christmas Eve, but because I'm Slovak, we would normally celebrate it on the 24th, which is the English and American Christmas Eve, but to most of the world, most of the European world, it's actually 24th, and it's all on one day. And I will go into more detail, but it's not really relevant. This year we're not doing it because reasons. We have English kids here, so we're doing it a sort of Slovak way, and now we have a Slovak dinner. But yeah, back there I forgot to mention I missed some boxes. It's 2 boxes. They're easy to miss if you go up to get the gem shard. But I did go back for them. I just didn't realize there was more than the ones I got. I do eventually go back and get that gem off screen. Get the clear gem off screen. So here we're doing the bonus level, and you may have noticed that missing boxes is a kind of a running theme for this level, because I've already missed a box and I go back to get it. But I don't know. Today. I don't think this happens much too often. I think most of the time I'm well rehearsed in these levels. I try not to do the thing I did with these first few levels where I would get up Get up! Thank you. Try not to do the thing I did with these first few levels, where I would like, I always have to practice the levels, and normally, well, at first I would just practice the level one day, and then in a few days I'd like be like, oh, I've already practiced it. I can just go back and record it now flawlessly. Well, not really, because I don't remember the level from a few days ago. Anyway, but here is the new mechanic introduced, which is the flying carpet. I think it's interesting. You don't want to touch that lava, by the way, or at least I think it's lava. I don't even think you can touch the ground or any of these. It's actually kind of limited what you can do. But you can fire these little energy balls if you repeatedly press, I think it's the Z button, or A button, sorry, too used to the keyboard. It's a relatively short section there, but there'll be longer ones in later levels. Like I said, I really like the Arabian levels, just for their design, their music, stuff like that. It's just a nice level. I also find these enemies funny how the pot goes on their head. Make that what you will. I'm just checking to see if there's any boxes over there. We're coming up on the end of the level here, got the crystal, only a few more crates to go before we can... I'm sorry for calling them boxes constantly, by the way, even though they are actually called crates. It's just sort of a habit, I don't know. It also doesn't help, I'm not blaming it on this, but it also probably doesn't help that some of the boxes, some of the crates are called something boxes and some of them are called something crates. Like, there's a crash crate, which is basically a life, and then those ones you have to body slam are called locked boxes. I don't know what they were thinking of that, but either way, let's save, and I think it's time to tackle our first boss of the game, Evil Crunch. This is the easiest boss ever, just ever. Here's how to win. You go into the left corner, repeatedly press the fire button, I think it's A. When he does that, move up and hit him. Every time, well, basically, every single nitro crate is either too high to hit you, or they are in the perfect position for you to shoot them when you shoot rapidly. So there's literally no excuse for losing this fight, unless you obviously don't know this trick. But, oh my god, I figured this out on my own as well. It's not like I had to, had trouble on it before and then like looked it up. No, it's not really difficult to figure out. But anyway, well man, brainwashed again, thanks for saving the crash. Crystals you collected have opened up a new area of the island, we can get to new worlds. And we got the super slide, which if we slide while holding L, we can go farther, and we can also break locked boxes with it, like the body slam. Super body slam, I should say. Here's a new kind of level in the second world, Tiki Torture. I didn't know how to describe this when I did the commentary at first, but I think I have a good way. Volcano. That's it. That's all I can think of. The first one isn't too obvious about it. It has a volcano in the background, but other than that, there isn't really anything else to suggest, like, any kind of volcanic activity at first. It looks more like an ancient civilization of some kind, at least in my opinion. Until they introduced a bit of this lava, but I don't know. I just wasn't really thinking when I was commentating this for the first time. Looking back on it, is pretty obvious what it's supposed to be, but I don't know. It's just those weird like huts in the background. Never knew what they were supposed to be and how they have anything to do with volcanoes. But the worst offender of this has probably, no, definitely got to be the old men carrying bananas. What do old men carrying bananas have anything to do with volcanoes? I don't know. Here's a blue gem shard. It's the third kind of level that has gem shards. Obviously this one has a blue. Just riding this platform back. This is the main sort of gimmick of these levels, these floating platforms and lots of lava. That's basically, yeah, and lots of like sort of crates like packed together, as often lots of crates packed together. And there is another thing, but that's going to be introduced in the next one of these levels, which I think is in 2 episodes time. In the meantime though, let's just beat this easy bonus round for some easy lives. Here, and I say it's easy, this, I don't know what was happening here. Crash was just sliding all over the place and I wasn't you know, pressing slide. I was genuinely, I was just trying to, I don't know. I don't know what the point of those enemies are if you can very easily avoid them here, but whatever. These levels are, most of the levels in this game are borrowed from Crash 3, I believe. Except this one is, I think, borrowed from the Wrath of Cortex, actually. It's just, yeah, the Wrath of Cortex later in the game had some of these levels as well. This game takes a lot of elements from Wrath of Cortex and Crash 3. I think more so Wrath of Cortex, actually. Anyway, that is the level, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!